Hello, listeners. My name is Charles Scott. Here we are again. I'm here with Charles Scott Jr.
How you guys doing today? Our viewers, I'll say. How you doing today? This is Can We Talk? And we're approaching, I actually counted, we're approaching 76 episodes. We're going to do a big 100th episode, I promise.
I'm going to have an anniversary,
We're going to get that lawyer on here, too. You're going to see that in a couple weeks.
75 episodes.
Yeah, 75 episodes. You can go back and check them on YouTube, Facebook, see what we've been talking about. But what you want to do is definitely look at the current episodes, because real estate is constantly changing, always changing, right?
Always changing. There's a lot of things that are happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to be doing is, like Charles said, bringing some guests on to talk about some of the things on the legal end of the real estate industry, while we talk about what's happening in a general platform, because there's always a lot of changes going on.
Yes.
You know, heading towards the end of the year with our programs, and you know, there's a lot of, as the laws kick in, and there's a lot of new things. What's happening is people are in the statewide and the national level, they're trying to create affordable housing. Housing is a big issue.
What you're going to see is not only the word affordable housing, look for terms like workforce housing and stuff like that when they're trying to build those, because right now we still have an inventory shortage. As you look back in our previous episodes, you'll see for the past 10 years, the developers have not really been building houses to catch up with the population increase. So right now we've had a inventory shortage the past 5 years. It's been a crunch. But what's great now is we're getting a lot more, I'll say, assistance for the buyers. Mm-hmm. Even with the stubborn interest rates, we have plenty of programs that can help you.
Yeah, what's happening is that, like I said, on a national basis and on a statewide basis, there's programs out there that are coming around to not only help the buyers, but also the builders. Mm-hmm. You know, they're starting to give tax credits if you're a builder, if you're a developer, and you want to build a subdivision or build some homes. They're looking and talking about doing credits towards the cost of the materials and building the house to make it more affordable, so you can make a profit. No one's going to build if there's no profit involved.
Case in point, I was driving down a certain street in Bridgeport, I'm not going to name it, but I thought they were building a single family house. I've driven back there today. They're building 2 individual buildings on this small little lot, because it's got to be worth the developers, worth the investment. They're not going to build things for free.
Well, that's true too, which, we try to be creative on this program to give you an idea as to how you can maximize your equity in your house. If you have a house, that house right now possibly has a lot of equity, where yes, you could sell that house and profit, quite generously. On the other token, let's say we get creative. A lot of people are sitting on money that they don't even know about. They may not want to sell their house, but they may have a lot next door attached to that house.
Yep.
That's just, they're getting tired of cutting the grass and cleaning the weeds and off of it. So if you have a house and you have a lot next door to that house, and that house can be built on, you could sell the lot and still keep your house. So you don't have to move, you don't have to give up your house. You can sell that lot, and lots are going for, quite a bit. The average lot is,
what number
pretty good. Go ahead.
I was like, what number were you going to? I was going to say land is gold right now. I'm seeing land sell for what buildings used to sell for 10 years ago.
That's true.
I mean, the grass and dirt is right there. I mean, it's raw land. You'll be surprised how much you can sell that for. So any of those people who are out there, I know there's plenty of you out there have like an extra lot next to your house. You look at it for the last 30 years and you're paying taxes on that lot. Remember, we can go down, give us a call, we'll put you in the right direction. You go to City Hall, get that parcel, I'll say separate from yours, and we list it for sale.
I've seen some lots go for as little as $60,000 up to $125,000, and that's just for the lot next to the house without even selling the house. So you look at it that way. If you sold a lot for $100,000, and you look at it, it's a benefit to you 2 ways. Why? Because if you sell the lot, you're going to make money. Now, naturally, someone's going to come and build a new house next to your house on that lot.
Exactly.
They may sell that house for $400,000 or $500,000, which now is going to make your house worth even more money.
Exactly.
So you win 2 ways. You get money from the lot, and the extra value boosts your house value up. So if you ever sell your house, it's going to be worth a lot more money because you have a new house next door. So it's a win-win situation for you.
Exactly. And people don't realize, like, even if it's a small lot, give us a call. We have developers, as far as they'll put a tiny home on there, accessory home. Give us a call, and we'll give you a CMA. You know, that's our thing we do now. We've always been doing the past couple of years. And how much is it for the CMA?
Free.
It's free. And that's a detailed report
No
about your
cost.
specific property. We give you what it will probably sell for in this market. But like I said, people have Zillow on their phone, they have Redfin. Those are just estimates, those are just algorithms. If you really want to know what a good, I'll say, educated guess would be, give us a call. With 40 years of experience and 17 years of experience, we're in the streets every day. We know this area.
We see what's going on in just about any city. So, you know, we're in Woodbridge, we're in New Haven, all up in Milford,
Fairfield County.
Fairfield County, Trumbull, Shelton, Seymour, Derby, Ansonia, Waterbury, Naugatuck, you know, Stanford, Norwalk, because we're centrally located right within the area, and we have other agents throughout the area of Connecticut, so we can, you know, service you no matter where you may
Exactly.
be. Just give us a call, the number is right there. We can come out, we can talk to you, or give you some advice as to what you know, a lot of people call us and they say, Mr. Scott, I'm thinking about doing this. I had a lady call me this last week. She was thinking about opening up a laundromat. I sold her a 2-family house in Naugatuck about 7 years ago. So, you know, she's got a lot of equity in her house. So she wanted to take some of the equity out of her house and open up a laundromat. And so she wanted to ask me, you know, what do you think of that? She had 3 options: open a laundromat, do an equity line of credit on her house, or either she lives there, move out of the house and move in with her daughter and rent out her apartment. So, you know, I just gave her the pros and cons. I said, well, if you open up a laundromat, make sure you investigate, you know, is it going to be profitable? What research? What area? Is there going to be walk-in? Do you have parking? What's going to be required? What is the environmental? What's the health department? What are your permits? I said, and who's going to run the laundromat? In other words, are you going to quit your job and run the laundromat? So, you know, if you have to put worry about the equipment breaking down, worry about the employees not showing up, who's going to be there? I said, you know, run it. Have you ever, you know, ran a laundromat before?
Exactly.
What do you know about a laundromat? You know, some people come up with ideas. They just say, oh, that sounds like a good idea.
I mean, I know you said she has to get some consulting. She needs something like a consultant to help her because about the electricity, the water, the zoning, yeah, that's a big feat to go after a laundromat. But she has the opportunity to do it. Why? Because she bought a house. She's been there for about 7 years now. She has enough equity to invest in something. It's better to have the equity there than not there, I'll say.
Yeah, it's funny too because I had just finished watching a YouTube session about laundromats, and you know, and when she called me, and it had said that, you know, you got to worry about the repairs, you got to worry about all of your plumbing, and you got to worry about, you know, how many hours you're going to stay open. So there's a lot to it, and the cost of water.
Yep.
You know, your water, your electricity, your maintenance, your supplies. So there's a lot more to it than, you know. And then when everybody gets the same idea, it's getting so that there's laundromats on every corner too.
Exactly.
So you got to make sure that you're going to make money with the laundromat.
But like I said, the fact that she has the opportunity to do it is amazing. We have a lot of clients who are calling us from less than 10 years ago, but even 3 years ago. I mean, they're sitting on this equity, and what it is, they're getting letters from different companies talking about refinance this, refinance that, pull the money out. But money is only as good as where you're going to use it. You pull it out, you have to have an idea.
That's true.
Are you paying off debt? Are you starting a business? So like I say, give us a call. Not saying we're financial advisors, but we can put you in the right direction, which you could do. You know, we can kind of give you a little forecast where we see the market going.
Yeah, I think I told her to get in touch with the SBA.
Yeah.
You know, and talk to them. They have a lot of, as a non-profit courses on opening up a business, and you know what permits you need, the licenses that you need, and how to run a business.
SBA loan would be perfect for her.
You know, she would have to, you know, do a study. So there's a lot of things that you can do if you have equity in your property right now.
Now, people are saying, well, getting your story, she bought 7 years ago. Where do I fit in? remember, right now, even though it's 2025, I'll date this episode, we're going to 2026. Next year looks like it's going to be a great year to buy if you're ready. That's the same. People ask me when's the time to buy. When you're ready, because guess what? It's still better than paying rent, where you're going to be paying 100% interest rate. None of that money is being sent to your equity. And guess what? I can guarantee your rent will be going up next year.
That's true. You know, rent's still going to go up. Why? Because there's still a shortage of real estate. There's a shortage of apartments.
And also, your landlord doesn't tell you. I'm sure his insurance bill went up this year.
Oh.
And wait till he gets next year's tax bill. He's going to pass that off to his tenants.
The insurance costs have gone up because of all of the different things, the floods, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, global warming, all of the windstorms. So the insurance company, and a lot of things that affect the insurance rates is the cost of rebuilding a house.
Yes.
In other words, if the insurance company insures your house and they feel as though it's going to cost $300,000 to rebuild it, then they say your insurance is $1,500 a year. If they're going to build that same house and the materials and the labor, instead of costing $300,000, is going to cost $400,000, then even though you haven't had a fire, the cost of insuring it is not going to be $1,500, it's going to be $2,000.
It's going to go up.
$2,000 a year, and that's the cost that you have to figure in there. So now, if you as a landlord, you figuring in your maintenance, your insurance, your taxes, your water, your sewer, all of the fees, and then your mortgage, your principal, and your interest. Well, then you're going to say, well, I got to go up on the rent to my tenant. So that's how the tenants end up with paying higher rent.
We get calls every day. Give us a call, please. Number's right there. Now, what if the tenant is a family member? What if the tenant is retired or senior citizen? How do you increase that rent knowing they're on a fixed income? So we get a lot of calls like that. And some people give us the solution of, well, I just want to sell the building and move on. And we get a lot of calls like that rather than, either having to evict the person, increase the rent, knowing that the person can't afford the rent. Remember, you can sell a house with a low rent in it. You see it all the time. And it's up to the new person that buys a house can be up to them to increase the rent, do an eviction, give them a 60-day notice to quit, or, do something else, something more creative.
And one of the creative ways is if you have a tenant that's been there for like 10 or 15 years, or it may be a family member, maybe you want to sell them the house. Think about that.
Option.
If they can qualify for a mortgage, and if they're paying you all of that rent, just think about it. It could be a win-win situation where you're not worried about what you're going to do with the tenant or the family member. Have them get a mortgage, have them buy the house from you. Now they own the house, and they can rent out at the other floor, and you get paid. So you're able to be bought out of the situation, and everybody's happy.
And remember, that requires them getting a real mortgage. Like going to the bank. We're not talking about a rent-to-own situation or a piece of paper saying, I promise to pay you extra rent. No, we're talking about them legitimately getting a mortgage and then buying it from you.
Speaking of that, we never really talked that much about that. A lot of people give us a call and we say, Mr. Scott, I want to do a rent-to-own. Do you have any rent-to-owns?
Oh, man.
I haven't heard about that in years and years and years.
Rent-to-own, I cover this on each class I teach. Rent-to-own is a real thing, but something I do not see here in Connecticut, because you got to think about it. For rent-to-own to happen, what's you telling the landlord? You're saying to the landlord, I will buy your house sometime in the future. And what the landlord's seeing the prices now, he may want to cash out now. He wants the most bang for his buck. Also, it's a detriment to the person doing a rent-to-own, because who's going to say you'll have the same job in the future? What if your credit goes down? What if there's an accident or something happens to your health? The fact that you've already signed that commitment to the landlord, all that extra rent you're going to be paying him, let's say you're about a year into it, you're going to buy the house in 2 years, something happens, he keeps all that extra money, and you'll still have to rent from him. I say it's bad all around.
Yeah, so you got to be very careful with that rent-to-own, because if you give the landlord, the way it works, you give him extra money every month, and he saves it towards you buying the house. But if you cannot buy the house even after a year or two, maybe your credit score went down. Maybe the bank won't give you a mortgage.
Interest rates mine went up.
You lose the money that you gave the landlord.
Yep.
Then on the other side, look at it this way. Let's say, for example, you're giving him the money and you're giving him the money, you still can't buy the house, or he doesn't pay the mortgage and the bank takes the house from him,
Yep.
you still can't.
How about
you still
that?
can't buy the house that you thought you were going to
Listen, out
buy.
all the extra money I was giving the landlord.
I was giving the
He
landlord
wasn't
all
paying
my
his own
money.
mortgage. He went on vacation with your money.
Now all of a sudden you get a notice that you have to move because the landlord is not being able to pay the mortgage. So it's a
Or
situation where
How
everybody.
about this situation? Which it could happen. Remember, these houses, they don't always go up. What if you do a 2-year agreement to buy the house for, say, for $350,000? The market changes, the house comes in at $300,000, and the bank's not going to finance that. How are you going to fix that appraisal gap now? The landlord wants his $350,000.
That's right. So
that could happen also,
you have to be really careful with a time to own situation.
or rent to own.
Or I mean rent to own situation, because things can change.
Yes.
There's no guarantees. You never know what's going to happen. So you want to make sure that, and then you really can't guarantee anything with a rent to own,
Yeah.
because things change. Everything changes for the buyer. Everything changes for the seller. So it's gotta. That's why I said we really haven't seen too many of those in a long.
Many of those, not at all.
Years ago, there were rent to owns when people couldn't sell their house.
Exactly.
In a bad market where the seller's having a hard time selling the house, and where it was a little easier to be able to get a mortgage, the seller and the tenant or whoever it may be may do a rent to own. But in these times, if I'm selling my house and I've got 4 or 5 buyers, I've got maybe 1 rent to own. Then I've got 4 buyers that are saying, forget the rent to own, I want to buy it right now. The seller has options that he can take, that he doesn't have to be forced to rent it out.
Exactly.
And to have a rent to own.
Even if your offer is higher than these people coming in with cash and other financing, I mean, the money in your hand is more valuable than money in the future. You never know what could happen.
So as you can see, there's a lot of different options that are out there, a lot of options that are going to be happening.
What I was going to just end that with the rent to own is when I teach my classes, I can tell people what you do is pretend you are in a rent to own situation. Every time you pay the rent, pay a little extra, save that in a different account, use that as your down payment when you get a traditional mortgage. I mean, rather than give it to the landlord, give it to yourself, pay yourself first.
You know, I was also, studying up on coming up in the year 2026. There's going to be some more favorable tax laws pertaining to home ownership. So you might want to. That's one of the advantages of buying a house. Some of the interest that you pay that was not previously tax deductible will be tax deductible going forward in 2026. So they're trying to make it so that it encourage you to be able to put more money in the bottom line in your pocket by being able to buy a house for home ownership. So there's a lot of different advantages. In the state of Connecticut, we have that program that we keep telling you about every week. It's called Time to Own.
Time to own. About $20 million in there right now, but we see it hopefully getting refunded as we go into next year also. But give us a call. We've gotten over 12 people in the houses with this program. Very, very good program.
So you want to give us a call on that particular program. There's still money there. And the way I see it, there's going to be more money put in that program because they want to encourage people to buy homes. You know, there's programs out there that people don't even know about. For example, Live Where You Work.
Yep.
That's a program in different cities that have signed on for a CHAFA program, where if you're a policeman, a fireman, city employee, teachers, firemen, policemen, city employees, where you can get extra money to be able to buy a house in the city in which you live and in the city in which you work at a lower interest rate also.
Yep.
So these are programs that have been around for a while.
Oh, and also just put in. Now remember, you may say, well, I've never heard these programs, but also remember, when you're going to go get a mortgage, I suggest you shop around. A lot of people go, honestly, to the biggest bank they see. The bank, I'm not going to mention any names, but national banks, these big old banks. Why not go to a smaller bank, maybe a local bank, maybe a bank that is just in Connecticut? You will be surprised. Remember, they're all selling you the same thing, money, but they all have different terms. I'll say a smaller bank may have more flexibility than a bigger bank. It might actually give you a more favorable rate.
Not only that, they know about the programs.
Yeah, the programs.
If you call that 1-800 number and you get a loan company where they're just sitting at a desk in California, and they say, okay, we want to pre-qualify you for a mortgage. Send us your tax return, send us your pay stubs, and we'll check your credit. Oh, you're pre-qualified. They don't have any idea. Imagine every state, there's 50 states, and all of them have different rules and different programs for housing. You can't expect them to know all 50 programs, no
Exactly.
more than 50. Each state might have 10
Yeah,
programs.
might have
That's
10.
like 500 different programs. All they're going to do is tell you what you qualify, not tell you about the special discounts and the special
And
programs.
honestly, not to say that they're money hungry, but these national programs, national banks, they're about profit. These programs are going to take money out of their pocket. You know, they want to give you the highest loan for the highest interest rate. So check your local banks, your credit unions. You never know. Or give us a call. We can put you in the right direction.
Right. I mean, we deal with a lot of the nonprofits, and the nonprofits have a list of banks and loan officers that they work with that are familiar with the programs that are
Yes.
out there that can save you money when you buy that house. And put you, and on top of that, you know, you can layer some of these programs. That means
yeah.
that if you get a special discount from one bank, even the bank you go to, there may be another agency that can give you another 10,000. Then you could
Correct.
take that 10,000 and add it onto maybe like a housing development, I can name the agency, that maybe you get another 5,000 there, then maybe another 25,000 from the state of Connecticut.
But
You add them up.
I want to say also, people may say, well, my realtor didn't mention that at all. My mortgage person didn't mention that at all. They may not know these programs even exist. Give us a call. We work with our colleagues. We all work with people that know these programs. So when we do get a deal like this, we make sure it goes through very smoothly.
And you said something there. They may say, well, how come you're a realtor and they're a realtor and they wouldn't know about the programs?
How about that?
Well, what happens is that it depends on how knowledgeable the real estate agent may be.
Yes.
You may get a real estate agent that, you know, just got their license 6 months ago or maybe 7 months ago, and they're not aware of all of the programs that comes from relationships or being out there working with all of the different lenders and working with affordable housing programs. We not only know about the programs, we teach the courses in them. My son
Exactly.
teaches a lot of these courses for the nonprofit on affordability and different programs and ways of finding money and becoming creative. I mean, you've taught many classes, you know, to the for people that sign up for these first-time home buyer classes, and these classes are free. They're free.
Give us a call. We'll tell you exactly how to get signed up for those classes also. And those who are landlords, there's also a landlord class you could take. But give us a call. We'll tell you more information about that.
So that's why I say a lot of the other real estate agents that are out there, they may not be aware of these different programs that are out there. And in some cases, you may have some real estate agents that really do not get involved in those programs. They may work with clientele that have payroll. They make $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year. So they really do not get involved with it's like going into a Lamborghini dealership and looking to buy a low-cost Volkswagen.
Oh, yeah.
In other words,
They
don't deal in that clientele.
One thing, make sure when you get your pre-qualification or your pre-approval, you get that first, which, give us a call. We'll tell you how you buy a house. People like to give us a call first and say, I want to go look at houses. So I say, well, have you gotten your pre-approval yet? What's that? Remember, go to the bank first, then you find your realtor. But you can give us a call first. We can do it the other way around. But remember, when you go choose a realtor, you want somebody that's going to have your best foot forward as far as your mind, your interest in mind. I mean, does this realtor even know how to buy a condo? I mean, there's a lot of questions that go with that. Does this realtor know what your program is about? We have everything covered as far as these programs go, different types of investments. Are you buying an investment property, a property to live in? Give us a call. We're very knowledgeable in, I'll say, a lot of subjects.
Yeah. Many of the people out there right now, if you're listening to us, you may not be in a situation where you're looking to do anything, but you may know a relative. Do them a favor and give them our telephone number. You may have a son, a daughter, a cousin, nephew that's looking to buy a house or in a situation where they have to move and they don't know which way to turn or what advice that they can be given. Call us. We'll talk to them. It doesn't cost anything, and we can put them in the right direction.
Even those who may be going through foreclosure or may have recently inherited property. We're doing a lot of probates recently. Give us a call. We can put you in the right direction, and look out for that probate episode coming up soon.
Right. I mean, a lot of people out there. One other thing too is that if you are getting noticed for late payments on your mortgage, and you're trying to figure out what to do, do not run from the mortgage company.
Don't
Make
run.
sure you call them. Give us a call. Let us know what's going on. We can steer you in the right direction. We got nonprofits. We have attorneys that can give you some advice as to what to do. You can that you may keep your house, not have to sell the house. You got equity in the house, or if whatever you may do, you have different options that we can help you out. So
Exactly.
call us, or if you have a friend out there that's in a situation like that, we have a lot of different options that we can help that particular person with.
And also, I want to say that those who want to give us a call, that's our real number. Like, when you call us, you're going to get me or my father. We'll be talking to you directly. No answering machine, no receptionist. And you can be anonymous, discreet. Give us a call, tell us your situation, and we'll help you from there.
It's no 800 number.
Nope, that's a real number right there.
Everything is in the strictest of confidence, because when you're talking about real estate and you're talking about finances, you know how even if it's the older people, I don't want nobody to know my business. So, you call us, the only person that's going to know your business is me.
We got 1 minute
and you.
left. I want to say this. Did your realtor meet you at your house in your kitchen, or did you go to their office? Most likely because they don't have an office. Give us a call. We actually have an office you can come to. Privacy, sit down with us, make an appointment, call us on the phone, and we'll go from there.
Well, that's the increasing new thing. A lot of real estate agents do not have offices.
They're digital agents.
They just digital agents, or they get a lead from a computer or from the internet, and then they talk
They
to
meet you out in the field.
They work out of their house. We have an office. I've had my office over 25 years, and before that, I always had an office since I've been in real estate for 40 years. I've had an office.
Yep.
A lot of agents now do not have offices.
They don't, but come to us. We have an office in a very convenient area, plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking. Our main office is right in downtown Bridgeport.
Yep.
So hopefully we've been helpful today. We
Yes.
try to give you information every week. If you need help, or you know of someone out there, that's that
Give us
number
a
to
call
call
right
right there. And until next week, God bless.
Amen.